Well, thank you all for being with us. It's been a rough afternoon and a rough evening for communities across Indiana. But Hoosiers are breathing a sigh of relief. But there's a lot of hurting families across this state. I just received a briefing in our emergency operations center about the efforts of various state agencies to come alongside counties and communities that have been impacted by these unexpected storms. And I'll give you a brief update on what we know at this point. The most important thing to say is this is an active situation. We expect the storms to leave the state of Indiana within the hour, but we are continually monitoring the progress of these storms and the needs of local communities and first responders. I'm grateful to be joined by my Lieutenant Governor, Eric Holcomb, as well as by David Kane, who's the Executive Director of the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. This afternoon at roughly 2:40 p.m., warnings began for severe weather traversing the state from west to east. We stood up the Emergency Operations Center at that time and brought in all of our personnel representing a broad range of state agencies. 27 counties reported tornado warnings today. We have 8 confirmed tornadoes in the state of Indiana, at least 3 that touched down on the ground. The most severe damage that we are aware of at this time was in Howard County and in Montgomery County. In Howard County, there are approximately 15 homes that have been damaged, as well as some local businesses. In Montgomery County, we just learned that there's some 30 homes that have been damaged in varying degrees. At this point, I say with a grateful heart that we have no reports of serious injuries or deaths as a result of these storms. We are currently monitoring roughly 10 to 15 minor injuries in Howard County, and we're in the assessment process in Montgomery County. Again, at this point, that's the best information that we have. First responders on the ground are obviously going house to house and making sure that we move through the response phase effectively. And if there are people who are injured, hurting, that we will find them and get them the medical attention that they need. We're dealing at this point now with power outages. We're moving some resources, particularly into Howard County, to provide some flood lighting around some key areas of the community. And various state agencies are assisting in that, from the Indiana Department of Transportation to the Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Corrections. I have ordered to provide personnel on the ground to assist in debris cleanup first thing tomorrow morning. Let me say I want to commend our first responders. I spoke to Mayor Goodnight in Kokomo on my way to the Emergency Operations Center today, and as I have seen his team on the ground before, I expressed my profound admiration and appreciation for the efforts of that community to warn their citizens, help them get out of harm's way, and also provide a response. It is truly remarkable that there are such a few number of injuries or worse in the wake of this storm, given the fact that it literally struck Howard County virtually at shift change in the afternoon in a great manufacturing town, and about the time kids were getting out of school. Just about the worst possible time. And I think it's an extraordinary credit to the local community and to first responders. And frankly, it's a credit to you in the media who helped get the word out about this storm and made sure that people were out of harm's way. So I want to commend our first responders and local officials. I also want to thank the media for getting the word out and paying so much focused attention to this storm. And also, I just want to thank neighbors and friends. When you see a storm move through like this, and I'll be on the ground tomorrow in Howard County and in Montgomery County, surveying the damage and coming alongside the families that are affected. But when you see a storm move through of this violence and you don't have the level of injuries or worse, that's a testament to an awful lot of people but it's also a testament to neighbors and friends who I know, because I know Hoosiers, reached out to neighbors and made sure that they knew what was happening and were able to get out of harm's way. So we're very grateful. I'm grateful to the team at the Indiana Department of Homeland Security for standing up their efforts and continuing into this evening to monitor this storm and make sure that we provide the resources of the state of Indiana. I'm also very grateful to the Red Cross. There is at the local UAW, there is a shelter that's been established. Some 200 Hoosiers, I'm told, are there now. We're assisting now through the Indiana Department of Transportation to secure a generator to get some power into that facility. But very, very grateful for the Red Cross. And I know many, many volunteers in the faith community and just Hoosiers that are coming alongside their neighbors. I expect this, as every other time, it's going to be a very inspiring time. And I'm very proud. We are moving now from response to recovery. And so our efforts going forward are going to be to work with local leadership in these communities and make sure that all appropriate state resources that can be made available to help put these families, homes, and put their lives and their communities back together are made available and made available very quickly. Again, I want to say Hoosiers are breathing a sigh of relief after a very tough day of weather. But there's a lot of hurting families out there, and I encourage every Hoosier to remember these communities in their prayers. And if you have the opportunity to support relief efforts, either through the Red Cross or faith-based efforts or in volunteering your own time, it would be welcome, and we certainly encourage that in every way. With that, I'd be happy to take a few questions on topic from anyone before we let you get back
Governor,
to the story.
I'm curious what kind of state assistance has been requested, if there's been any specifics yet, and what is the state looking to provide in the coming days, short term?
Well, we immediately provided Indiana State Troopers on the ground. There's some 25 Indiana State Troopers on the ground now. Another 23 are arriving tonight to allow for a shift change, and they're supporting local law enforcement efforts, everything from traffic management to a variety of public safety issues, and we'll continue to do that. When I got off the plane, I spoke to our superintendent, Doug Carter, who was on the ground himself in Kokomo, and so we fully integrated our public safety teams. Also, the Department of Natural Resources. I'm very proud of our DNR team. A number of them just came back from fighting wildfires out west yesterday, and literally without hesitation headed straight to Kokomo. We have a DNR team on the ground that's assisting families and communities as well. Indiana Department of Transportation is on the ground now. Working to clear roadways and also providing a lot of that lighting that we use at nighttime road construction. That's precisely what's needed in this kind of situation to allow the response and recovery efforts to move forward on a 24/7 basis. But as I mentioned, I gave a direction this afternoon to the Department of Correction to provide personnel to help come in and pick up debris, and as I told Mayor Goodnight, and I'll tell officials in Montgomery County later tonight, we're prepared to provide any and all appropriate support and personnel. I will say that David and the team at IDHS is responsible for doing the assessment for federal emergency management, and they've already been in touch with FEMA about determining whether or not resources might be available. It is unlikely in our initial look that this reaches a threshold for federal support, but we're going to begin those assessments in earnest in the morning for all of these communities and work with those communities to apply for any additional assistance that might be available.
Governor, do you plan to visit any of the areas that were most severely affected?
I am. We'll be wheels up tomorrow morning and headed to both Howard County and Montgomery County and any other areas that have been impacted. But at this point, the most severe damage that we've heard about are neighborhoods and homes in Howard County, Indiana, Kokomo, Indiana particularly, and then near Crawfordsville, Indiana, and we'll be headed out. Lieutenant Governor and I will be headed out to those communities tomorrow. I'm an eyes-on leader. I like it when I get a report at an emergency operations center from my various agencies. I like to be on the ground and talk to people on the front lines, and also, most importantly, talk to families and just make sure they're getting the support that they need and the encouragement that they need. It is Kokomo, Indiana, in 2013, this very same neighborhood was struck by a tornado. And as the mayor and I talked about that tonight, I could tell how heavy his heart was that the very same neighborhood, and in some cases the same families, were affected by another tornado just a few short years later. So we're gonna be there for those families too.
Governor, do you anticipate clearing your campaign schedule for the rest of the week?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the
Do
question.
you anticipate clearing your campaign schedule on those events?
We'll be here as long as we need to be to make sure that Hoosiers that have been impacted by these storms have what they need and have the support that they need. But we've cleared our schedule tomorrow, and yeah, I have no higher priority than the safety and security of Hoosiers. And I can just assure you that I'm very, very proud of the response by our first responders. And let me emphasize, I'm grateful for the response of the state of Indiana, the Department of Homeland Security, the state police, and the balance. But when the storm winds blow and tornadoes set down, it is the local first responders that do the work. Police, fire, public safety personnel. And so I really commend our local first responders for the work that they have done in responding to this storm. But where the state of Indiana can be most helpful is backstopping their response by first responders, but then the recovery efforts, I think, are where the state can make the biggest difference. And we're going to be here so long as it takes to make sure that all the resources in the various agencies of the state of Indiana that can support recovery efforts for the families and the communities takes place.